back to Comedy or Worse. I'm here with my very special guest,
Jennifer Mason.
Yay! Remember that if you want to look at the camera, that camera's over there.
Oh, hey,
you can
camera.
look at this camera, but everybody's going to be like, what camera are you looking at?
Just the laptop.
Yeah, exactly. So how are you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah, Labor Day. It's a holiday.
Oh, yeah. So you asked how long the podcast's been going on?
Yeah.
So right now it is September 1st. We're recording on September 1st, 2024. So over a year now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you use a stage name, or is that your regular name?
I mean, I am Jennifer Mason. I also go by Gen X Productions. Gen X with a J because I'm Jen. You know.
Oh yeah.
And my show is Sofa King Funny. I mean, that's the name of my show. It's the Sofa King Funny Show.
Ah.
Because all my comics are so fucking funny.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's cool. So how did you get into comedy?
I got divorced. I think a lot of comedians get into it after a breakup. Do you find that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a big breakup because I was married for 10 years and didn't see it coming. And so it was like a dare to myself to become braver.
Yeah.
Because I had to run a business and I had a hard time speaking. I am an introvert. I'm very shy. But you can't really make money if you're shy, especially if you have your own business.
Sure.
So
what was the business?
I'm an acupuncturist.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And so, yeah, I was having a hard time saying, I do acupuncture, this is what I charge. So I was really underselling myself and having a lot of anxiety about it. So I did Toastmasters and then improv. And then on my 50th birthday, I did my first stand-up show.
Wow, cool. Where did you do your first stand-up show?
I took the course at Comedy Palace.
Okay.
It was our teacher wasn't there that much, so we ended up mostly studying with Gordon Downs, Bijan, and Jesse Egan.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, that's cool.
6 years ago, I think.
Nice. Oh yeah. So, did you get addicted to the comedy right away, or?
I did not think that I would. I think when I walked in, they're actually like, "Are you in the right place?" You know? Have you ever held a microphone? I'm like, no. But then I think that I've spent a lot of my life feeling talked over, and so having a microphone and like, this is your time, you have 5 minutes.
Sure.
Was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But then you're like, oh, now I have a lot to say, right? When you know. Right. So then I got addicted to it. But I also think that it's just really therapeutic, right? I mean, that's the thing. It's therapeutic to have this forum where you can say whatever it is you're working on, especially the awkward and hurtful things that have happened to you, and transform it into comedy.
Yeah.
And so that's why I really like teaching it too. So I think that if the more we talk about the things that are hurting us, the better we are, and then the audience feels like, oh, they've got that stuff going on too.
Yeah.
And then I really love teaching comedy because I also get to invite all of these other voices into comedy that wouldn't otherwise be on stage.
Oh, that's super cool. So where are you teaching comedy out of?
I taught out of my living room for a while, but now I'm also working as a middle school teacher, which takes far too much time. Sure. So I teach when I come up for air at Finest City Improv.
Oh, okay. Nice. But you're teaching comedy, not improv.
Stand up, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. So what is your writing process for comedy?
Well, I usually, so yeah, I'm trying to think, but I am, the ADHD is strong, right? And I think that's actually true for a lot of my comedian friends, especially the women comedians I know, maybe because the men don't talk to me very much, but the women comedians that I find really funny often have a lot of ADHD. And
well, I mean, the notifications don't help, right?
well, I don't know why it makes noise now. It didn't used to. Yeah, GPS is also. I need an 8th grader to explain it to me.
Could be an emergency any second.
So usually what's happening is I say something and I think that might be inappropriate. And I'm like, oh, okay, that might work for later. And I don't understand how nobody else hears it, you know? I was,
Right.
So I teach 7th grade, and I was talking to the 8th grade humanities teacher, and we're like, what are you doing? Because the whole first 3 weeks are get to know you stuff. And he's like, I'm having them do this questionnaire, where you find out what's your strength and what animal you are. And some people are lions, and it turns out I'm a beaver. And I'm like, seriously? You had the middle school students say I'm a beaver? Like, does nobody else hear this? I don't know. Like, that's just crazy to me. But
yeah, that's definitely relatable. You know, either it's puns or inappropriate stuff or a mixture of both. It's like yeah, that's funny.
yeah, like
Right
that
there.
sounds wrong. How can I exploit it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. So I asked everybody this. I usually don't know the answer or forget. Do you remember how we met?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Have we met? I'm also a little bit face blind, which maybe means I have too many names that
I
I'm
think
trying
we've definitely met before, but this is definitely going to be the longest we talked.
Absolutely. I don't know. But it's how long have you been doing comedy?
This is year 6.
Oh, so yeah, we're kind of contemporaries.
I was going to the Comedy Palace, before it got bought and name changed to Mic Drop. But I was just going to the open mics. I guess I technically had one show where it was improv versus, it was like I don't think they called it improv versus stand-up. Maybe they
But
did.
that same idea.
Yeah. You
Right.
stand up.
I remember that. I remember who was teaching that in the back room. Yeah.
You did your stand-up, and then they had an improv group do improv off of it.
Right.
That was super fun.
Oh, you should talk to Mockingbird. Get on that stage. Why
Yeah,
not?
definitely. I definitely want
It's super
to
fun.
improv as well.
Yeah. Improv helps a lot of comedians, especially with riffing, stage presence.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's
So-
instant friends, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Do you ever do like a character on stage?
Oh, not on purpose. I don't know. My husband accuses me of doing characters all the time, or voices, but I don't think so. I mean, I think act outs are great,
Yeah.
but not really.
Okay. Cool. Let's see.
Do you?
Yeah, I definitely do act outs, and I guess my stage presence is maybe like a heightened version of myself. It's hard to just go up there and talk in my normal voice for the whole time. It's just not fun. I don't think it's that funny. I don't know.
I mean, I do think in my day job, I do have a character. It is Miss Jennifer. And Miss Jennifer tries really hard not to be a comedian and to be very teacherly, and I don't know, it's harder than you'd think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like some of my comedy tries to go over the kids' heads, but I don't know. It probably wouldn't work in a classroom where they're, like say you're at a Greek restaurant and you're doing comedy, and it's going over the kids' heads, and the parents are laughing. There's only a few kids, but a whole classroom. If just one of them get it, then they're going to whisper it and tell everybody what it meant.
Oh, Aaron,
right?
and they all have cell phones, so they could
just
whip that
Google it.
out, and then who knows? Not only could they Google it, but they can repost it.
They
You
can
got to be
record
careful
it,
these
yeah.
days. They're going to find this.
Look for it on purpose?
Yeah, Rizzy Tritons and Nonchalant Bears, if you're listening, go back and do your reading. 20 minutes a night.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, maybe they should be assigned to. Okay, you found it? Okay, well, where's the transcript? Type up the transcript and then remember
The
to read
secret
it.
code word is panda bears.
Cool. So do you have any hobbies or passions that are not related to comedy?
I have too many. I just bought a sewing machine. I don't even know how to use it, but I think that's the next one. I've been, for years I had a very black thumb and all of my houseplants just died. But now I have the opposite problem. They really enjoy the house we're in, and so I have to keep like repotting them and giving them away. So that's something new. I am an acupuncturist, so I do all things kind of woo-woo and health-related. Currently, I'm trying to get back in shape, so I'm doing a whole lot of exercisey things.
Well, everybody has a shape.
Oh, the shape was not good. The first year of teaching, man, it is teaching in a district classroom is very hard. So I gained 20 pounds. And so I'm working that. But it's worse than that. I gained 20 pounds, but then I just felt super old and tired. And so now I realize workouts are the way to work out of that.
Yeah, definitely. It's not easy. I just got a gym membership, and I was like, this past week, I'm like, oh, I didn't go at all.
Oh, so mine gives me 8. So it's very motivating to me to be like, I am losing money. I just lost, if I think that everyone is worth $20 and I missed 2 of them, I feel like I just lost $40. So that's enough to get me in there.
Right. So I'm not following.
Because I don't have unlimited membership. I actually went to the Orange Theory down the street here this morning. Okay. So I'm in a membership where I only get eight sessions per month. So if I only use 6, I'm like, oh, I lost money.
Right. That makes sense. Wow. Yeah, you got to figure out what works for you, right? Usually have like alarms on my phone for everything, and then I forgot to do it today, and that's what threw me off.
I don't know about you. It's the ADHD as well. Perhaps nobody likes doing the things they don't like to do, but I have to trick myself into doing it. So I'm like, I have to promise myself treats, So yeah, if I work out, then I get something from Starbucks, or
Sure.
I might buy that new dress or something.
Oh yeah, that's cool. You said you also maybe take up sewing. What about merch? You thinking of doing merch at all?
If I were gonna do merch, then I would have to update my logo to something that's not straight off of Canva, which is a great idea. But Aaron, it's back to school night next week. I have 56 clay magnets that they need to be painted and glued on for the 20 book challenge. I have 2 guest speakers coming in, so I don't know about merch. But I would like to have
your kids help you with merch.
Maybe I can make that an elective. Yeah, I mean, I am the Sofa King Funny Show, so it would be kind of fun to have little stickers with, my sofa with its crown on top.
Yeah.
Maybe. You have a connection?
No, I just make my own merch.
Oh yeah? What do you do?
It's called a website. It's called Printful.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What do you sell?
Well, I have these shoes here.
What? Oh, what's with the pretzels?
It's a joke. I love a good pretzel. Have you ever had an evil one? They're really twisted. It's just like a series of puns. It's just in a story form. Yeah, it's fun.
Have you interviewed Mike McCauley yet?
No.
He is a fan of the puns. That's all.
Yet. Sometimes, I gotta really think hard because I'm old and I talk to a lot of comics, and then it's like, wait, did I record a podcast? I just recorded with Randy Villarba, and I didn't realize it was the second one. And I just asked him all the same questions again.
Oh no!
But luckily,
the
first episode was 33 minutes, and the second episode was over an hour. So I'm thinking that the new one is the definitive one.
just delete that first one. It never happened.
No, because then the numbers don't make any sense.
Numbers never make sense.
Yeah. So do you wish you started comedy earlier?
I don't know. I think it happened right when it was supposed to. I am a mother, so I spent a lot of years raising kids. I think that I know some comics can do it. I watch Camille Waters and it's like, wow, I'm impressed, right? She can do everything with a toddler. I couldn't do anything with a toddler.
Right.
So I think it happened just the right time for me. I have been a classroom teacher for decades. So I think that a lot of classroom teachers are stand-up comedians. I mean, captive audience. I mean, that's the classroom management for those of us who cannot be stern. Yeah, as we say, we're a dancing monkey. It's like hosting a cocktail party, dry every day.
Yeah, cool. So what are your goals in comedy?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Because now I think I would love to do dry bar. I think that would be really fun, right? Do you want to do that?
Oh yeah.
I think I'm clean enough. I'd like to have more sets that I'm really happy with. Honestly, I'm pretty happy. I get to do about as many shows as I want to do, and they're good shows and good crowds, and so I'm just trying to balance it all. But it would be fun to be cast in something, I think.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, that's great. So do you have like a favorite joke of yours or anybody else's? Famous or not, doesn't matter.
Let's see. My favorite joke. My kids, like my students, always ask me for jokes, and I give them stupid knock-knock jokes because I have to think of what's appropriate.
Sure.
My favorite joke, I always close with my cat joke, which is that I'm a cat harasser because I pick her up and she doesn't like it. So that is probably my favorite joke because it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I do have an act out where I motorboat my cat. Other people's jokes. I was in two.
Other people, so just give you options.
There's so many good jokes. Every time I see a show, there's somebody who has a great joke.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, one of the goals of the podcast is to encourage people to see live comedy. Right? There's just something in the air, just magical.
Oh yeah, and I think the crowds lately have just been super great energy getting out there. I don't know if you find that. I think maybe we're just finally shaking off the post-COVID, and the room's been really warm.
Yeah, that's great. Sweet. Do you have like a favorite fan interaction? Either you were a fan of somebody or someone was a fan of your comedy.
It's happened once where I'm walking into Costco, and I am a little face blind, so it's embarrassing because sometimes I introduce myself to people and they're like, your son was on our Little League team for an entire year. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. What's your son's name? But it happened when I was walking into Costco and somebody's like, Gen X! And I'm like, do I know you? But she had come to my show and remembered me. So that was like, oh my gosh, I'm Costco famous. I had a birthday show just a couple nights ago at Mic Drop.
Oh, nice.
And the crowd was really sweet, but one woman was just like, I just have to ask you, where did you get those shoes? And so I had to send her a link to my Easy Spirit Clarice leopard print pumps.
Wow. That's cool. So what's your favorite place to do comedy right now?
Ooh, right now. I just did the Diversionary for the first time with Taylor Spencer, the Gays, Bays, and Theys. And wow, it's a tiny place, but that room was on fire. I don't know if it's the acoustics or or maybe the fact that they all pay for tickets. That helps. Mm-hmm. I did the Gold Room. Yeah, the Mic Drop shows have been really good for me lately.
Oh, that's great.
It's pretty fun to be on stage at the Comedy Store. I've done the Pretty Funny Ladies, and then that makes me feel fancy. But and Find a City Improv feels like my home. It's just a really sweet theater, so I always love performing there too. But yeah, I'm available. I'll go almost anywhere if it's not too late.
Cool. So what was your family life growing up?
Yeah. I am half Chinese. My mother's Chinese. She's ABC, American-born Chinese from Hawaii. My dad is San Diego white from Coronado. My dad is actually really funny. He was an Episcopalian priest, so that was his stand-up comedy. I remember once I came home from college, and at that time he was swimming, at a gym, and he's like, "Do you want to come too?" So I came too, and we both did laps. And he got into the hot tub with 3 other older guys, and one of the guys is like, "That young, it'll cost you." And my dad's like, "You have no idea how much this one has cost me already." So he's just funny.
Yeah, that's cool. So what is your earliest memory?
My earliest memory, Oh, I don't know. My earliest memories aren't really clear, and I can't tell if it's because I'm confusing pictures.
Yeah.
But I think maybe it's just being a 5-year-old and being in kindergarten and not being able to sleep during nap time, which maybe is a relatable ADHD story. I don't know. With another best friend, Jennifer, because that was the #1 name in the year I was born. So my whole life it's another Jennifer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's see. Do you do any other type of art?
Yes. I actually, so I am pursuing a credential in humanities, but I've also qualified, I passed the single subject for art, so I am considering also getting trained as an art teacher, because I love art. I used to sketch. I used to sketch at open mics, because as you know, they can take a long time, and that way I could remember every comedian, and I would write down their catchphrase.
That's cool.
And yeah, I'd like to get better at painting and sewing.
Cool.
I'm also a really good cook.
That's an art form for sure. Trying to rearrange these questions. Some of them seem kind of just random, but
for a while I took Tahitian dancing. I'd like to do dancing again. Do you dance?
I try to dance. I haven't been dancing in a while. It's definitely fun. It feels like there's just not enough time. Just, doing stand-up, work and sleep and stand-up and the podcast and doing merch.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Running shows.
Yeah. So you run the shows here, is that right?
No, I wish.
Oh.
I have a
EA. Quantum
Brewing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's Fridays, Saturdays now. It's open mic / show. There's a few featured comics.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I'd love to have you as a feature.
Annie did just send me an email.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure, okay, send an email to be on the podcast. Send an email to be a feature.
It's a lot of work. Producing is a lot of work.
Yeah, trying to get a writing group or
saw that
the Comedy Horse writing workshop.
Mm-hmm.
So it was starting to work a little bit, but I moved back the time a little bit, and then moved it to Quantum Brewing right before on Saturdays 4 to 6, right before
the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So hopefully that's gonna catch on.
So that's where people do bits, or do you have writing exercises? Or?
It's kind of like everybody says like something they're working on,
mm-hmm.
like a joke, go around the table, and people give feedback if they have anything,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then and at least get through everybody once, and then if there's time, go again.
Nice.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Craig Sutton has a Right Type group.
It's Subterranean.
I love it, but it's really hard for my job right now to get off on Sundays or get off early enough.
Right.
So and there's not. I think that really comics need to spend more time getting feedback.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and you know, not just from the best feedback, obviously, is from the audiences, right? But I don't know. Sometimes I notice that people like throw away jokes too soon. You know, you can't just you can't just try it right after you think of it and try it once and then go, oh, that wasn't any good, because a lot of times, sometimes it has something there. You just need to develop it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and sometimes it can be combined in something else later on. And yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think a writing group and an accountability group is also really good, just to, you know, so you know you have to bring something, right, to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely. And I think even if you're, it's even helpful to help people with their jokes. It just helps you become a better writer when it comes, because you can just self-edit your jokes quicker.
When so I teach the beginning stand-up class, because I think I can get a first set out of people, but that's what we do. We go, so what did you guys like, and what could be better? Because you have to train your ears, right? Before you can kind of get better at editing your own jokes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, one idea too is if I can get this group going, then maybe I would, you know, do something adventurous, like try to teach a class. You know, like, oh, I've been doing, you know, comedy for X amount of years. You know what I mean? Like, it's just another thing under your belt of experience.
Yeah, I think it's great to have a comedy writing class, because a lot of people want to try it, but they don't know how to start, and
right.
And then there's so many great resources out there. So that's what I tell them. I'm not inventing anything new. Like, it's, you know, there's all these books. They're all saying the same thing, right?
Right.
Make your lists. How are you different? What's funny? Can you make an act out? So yeah, why not? I think a lot of people are doing that free veterans program too. So like having a free program, I think is also maybe an easy way to get experience, especially if there's a charity aspect. I think it is so good for mental health.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. So, did you talk about where you grew up?
No. Well, so yeah, my father was in the military, and then he left to become a priest. So for those reasons, we moved around. So I've grown up in Southern California and Northern California, and then back again.
Cool.
I was in Orange County in the 80s during designer jeans. And I went to school in Berkeley. So yeah, all up and down California. And then I spent 4 years overseas in Taiwan and Beijing, and a year in Europe for junior year abroad.
Wow, that's super cool.
I took the Trans-Siberian Railway.
Wow.
That was crazy.
Isn't that pretty long?
Yes. It was like 5 days, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Being on a train for 5 days?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
You get to know people.
Did they do a lot of stops or just?
Oh yeah, all the time. What I didn't know when I got on the train is that it is a marketplace on rails. So I was in the little foreigner compound, me and 2 Swiss people and one other person, I can't remember who, but one of our cheaper friends got one of the regular tickets, and so it was him and 3 Chinese guys, and they were all sleeping like Sleeping Beauty on top of like 100 leather jackets, because every time they stopped, whether it was 2 a.m. or 2:15 in the afternoon, they would put the windows down and then just start selling. So like another car is all very large women's bras, because, you know, Russia. And then by the time we got to Moscow, their beds were normal because they sold everything.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was crazy. And then we'd go outside, and it was like November, in Siberia, and it was so cold. Like if you open your eyes, your contact lenses would freeze on your eyes, and what the Russians were selling back to us were frozen Snickers ice cream bars.
Wow. That's cool. So would you ever, is there other countries you want to visit?
I've never been to India, but now I'm old, so I'm afraid of getting some kind of disease. And but I think it's fascinating. What a fascinating, or Botswana, like wow, that would be cool. But then but just for a quick trip, I have FOMO about not going to Iceland and seeing the Northern Lights. What about you? Where do you want to go?
I want to go around the whole world.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like I haven't even seen that many states. More like West Coast. I guess I've been to a couple places in Mexico. Like a touristy area, and then Tijuana. That's about it.
Well, I think the other thing is that, I don't know how you feel, but I think that as a comedian, because it's the awkward things that make good comedy, you almost want to put yourself in awkward situations. And I think traveling is really ripe for that.
Yeah.
I used to say that, I wanted to take pole dancing because I think I would really suck at it. And I'd fall on my butt, and that would probably that video would go viral, But, yeah.
That's cool. So have you ever won like a comedy contest or anything like that?
I haven't won, but I've come in like third, which was good enough at the time, I mean, I still feel relatively new. And I really think that if you go into comedy contests determined to win, you will have a bad time and you will hate everybody.
Right.
But if you go into a contest thinking, there's definitely going to be an audience, I get to see all of these new comedians, I'm going to get a good tape, then I think you can't lose. Because, contests are as good as the people running them, and as comedians, we're good at some things, but we're not good at everything. So not all contests are as transparent. Like the judging is a little bit, how did that happen? I mean, I was in the Boston Comedy Festival during COVID, and it was on Zoom, and it was one vote per person. So basically, whoever brought the most people to the Zoom show won.
Right.
Did she win? Yeah. Do I feel like, I don't think it says anything about our skill except our skill in bringing people to the Zoom show. Right. So, was I glad to be in the Boston Comedy Festival? For sure. Right? I mean, it's just everything that you do teaches you something.
Yeah. So do you think you'll go to the Boston Comedy Festival again in person?
Well, the thing about Zoom was I did not have to buy a plane ticket. So if I happen to be in Boston, or if they took me, but I haven't submitted. I've done Burbank a couple times. I think that's fun. Cool. It kind of feels like comedy summer camp. And
Nice.
Did I win? Not at all.
Sure.
But it was fun.
Yeah, definitely. So what about your best booking story? Either you got booked on a show, or you got to book someone. You're like, I can't believe I got this comic.
Ooh. I guess I haven't been that ambitious about booking people. I like to book people that I enjoy being around.
Sure.
So I do occasionally book from LA. The weirdest one that I got booked for was actually with some people from LA, with Julie Weidman and Maria De La Ghetto, and we ended up at this clothing optional resort that Dapper Punk put on in Jacumba in January, and the crowd was real small, if you know what I mean, but it was cold. Yeah.
Cool. So what's the worst thing about comedy right now?
I think the worst thing for me is a bit of FOMO, because middle school is demanding. And I'm trying to balance better this year. But just, when I I get, do you want to do this show? And I'm like, oof, no, because I think I have to, you know, it's a school night, or it's too late, or I shouldn't go to Improv Utopia this year because then I'll miss the first week of school. So the FOMO is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you find that too, or what do you think?
I mean, I definitely have that, but I just have to remind myself that, I mean, I just try to have fun wherever I'm at.
Mm.
And then I remember growing up, and, you know, as a teenager, friends would be like, say that one person in the group missed out on something, and then next time we see them, they'd be like, oh, you missed it, we had so much fun. And I'm like, remembering, no, it was okay, but it wasn't so much fun, you know? So then when they would say that to me, oh, you missed it, we had so much fun. I'm like, sure. Well, I had so much fun too, what I was doing. You missed it.
And
but also you weren't invited.
But it's also the danger of social media, because on social media, everything is the most fun, the greatest experience.
Because people are just posting the good stuff. And
that is the role of social media, yeah.
Right. Well, either good stuff, or, you know, or you're reading news articles about the worst stuff, right? So everything is great in my life, but did you see the world?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Let's see. So where are you based out of right now? It's in San Diego, North County?
I'm in San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a house in Emerald Hills, so not too far. Actually, really close, just 10-minute drive from here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's see, what else? Well, would you want to feature on a Saturday when you have time?
You know, Annie asked me that, and so I'm looking at it. I do have an open house. I mean, back to school night next week, so I'm trying to figure out. I want to. Okay. I want to be there.
Yeah. Just, it's no pressure. Just sign up for a slot that works for you. And then if you have to cancel, just cancel. Just hopefully don't cancel after I made the poster.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But obviously, things happen.
What's your best joke?
What's my best joke? My favorite joke? I guess my best joke is the pretzel joke right now. But, you know, just trying to get more jokes like that, or just even make it. I started to do a joke where it's like, okay, I'm doing a new joke, but then it's like it's basically more pretzel puns. I don't know.
You can't get away from the pretzels.
Yeah, so that's fun. Well, also I just sometimes I think my everyone's path is different, and I think my path is definitely the things that I find fun and interesting are like a little bit Andy Kaufman. Like, I have this new joke where I'm like, clap if you like dirty jokes, clap if you like smart, clean jokes, and it just like keeps saying, I see clap, 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 you know, clap if you like clapping, clap if you want me to tell a joke, clap if you understand what's happening right now. You know, the joke is me saying clap, clap, clap for different things. So that's fun to me, but I realize that a mainstream audience isn't gonna get that. You know, I mean, I guess hopefully I can make it work for any audience. You know, but it's definitely harder than, you know, you see other comics not doing that stuff, more regular jokes. And do you, for your comedy, do you talk about your real life?
I do. I think that the way a lot of comedy seems to be going, and what works for me, is that sort of storytelling about your life. Maybe where things are a little absurd, and then kind of playing with it, right? You know, maybe some misdirects and some act outs and some absurdities. So, but I think the audiences are kind of hungry for that too, maybe because there's so little connection. Maybe we're looking for connection more, especially since COVID. So I do talk about my life. I think people are curious about what teaching middle school is like, you know, or what being 56 is like, or what being an Asian woman is like, you know. So just the way that we're different or the way that we're the same. I think that's what I like to talk about, and that's what I want to hear as an audience member too.
Yeah.
So if I have a student who's, I had an astrophysicist and his wife signed him up, of course. But I was really curious, what does an astrophysicist find funny? What are astrophysicist jokes?
Was it about stars and stuff?
It was actually about living in Wyoming and feeling like a cowboy. But that he was intimidated about doing stand-up comedy. And his wife's like, well, it's not rocket science. And he's like, well, I wish it was, because rocket science is what I'm good at. You know.
Right. That's funny. Cool. So how would someone follow you on social media?
So I'm Gen X Comedy SD. Because somebody took Gen X Comedy as soon. You know how it is. You look for it, and then you look again, and then somebody took it. But if you want it, it's $1,000. So now I'm Gen X Comedy SD on Instagram, or genxcomedy.com is my website. Slightly outdated. Or the Sofa King Funny Show.
Oh yeah. So is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I don't know. What do you like to have on your podcast? What do you want?
I don't know. I think it feels like I somehow ran out of questions, but it's not that necessarily means we have to stop. So you've never been like on Kill Tony, right?
I have not, no. But is that how easy? I don't know.
It's not easy anymore.
Like, I'm curious about roast battling, but I don't think that it's my natural milieu, you know?
Right.
Have you ever roast battled?
Yeah.
How was it?
It's totally different, but it's really fun. I have another
Who did you
one
roast?
in October. The first one was Clint by Sheen. Then it's Joshua Loya. And now I have Dayton Chapelier coming up the first Wednesday of October at the Comedy Store La Jolla. Yeah. I gotta write more jokes for sure.
Yeah.
Just keeps writing jokes.
I have not tried that, but it's intriguing. I'm not sure. So I think Kill Tony's probably a little in the same vein. It's like not.
Well,
but,
Kill Tony is you do a minute of stand-up comedy, and then they interview you.
Okay.
And they will maybe, they definitely will roast you. You know.
Actually, I kind of need to be roasted because I need.
What's that?
I wouldn't mind being roasted. Nobody roasts me. I think they're all just too nice.
Well,
roast me, Aaron.
You gotta hang out with more comedians, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's probably true. Maybe this year.
Cool. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I can roast you right here on the spot, but give me time.
Okay. I'll hold you to that. Maybe when I come to your Friday or Saturday show.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely want to get better at doing roast. I'm just going to keep trying to do it.
Well, you have a comedy writing group. What is your favorite comedy writing exercise?
When people come to the thing, yeah, that's
just
the
to bring
favorite
things?
part.
Well, what should they bring if they come?
They should bring at least one joke.
What if it's an idea that they haven't fully figured out how to make a joke?
Sure, absolutely. And come awake. that would be good. Yeah. You just have. It'd be interesting interesting too to even just have people that don't know if they want to do comedy or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can come, and we're always looking for feedback.
Have you put it on Eventbrite?
Yeah, it's on Eventbrite. I haven't advertised it on Eventbrite yet.
I don't advertise. I don't.
Right. Yeah. Like well, you know, for the shows I like collect tips to help pay for the advertisement. You know, so that kind of works. And occasionally people it's a free, but if you want a ticket, you can donate. So that works good. Occasionally people, this past on the 23rd, somebody paid $10 to come to a free show, which is great.
That's great.
Yeah.
The last few shows I've done, because I'm a teacher and it's August, September, I've said, and if you want to donate to my classroom, and people did. Wow. At the U31 show, somebody's like, yeah, where you got a wish list? What do you got? And I showed him my Donors Choose QR code, and he cleared the whole thing. My whole project was fulfilled. One tip. And then at Mic Drop the other night, I got $75 towards my classroom library.
Wow,
so that's kind of amazing.
Yeah, that's great. Well, there you go. Just you got to figure it out. You just keep doing what you're doing.
Figuring it out day by day, right?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so just I think that's a good length. How do you feel about the podcast?
Yeah, great.
Should we scrap it and start over?
Oh my God.
Now that we know what the questions are, I feel like I need to work on the order too. Because I was sometimes I'm ask a question and then I ask a way over here question. I'm like, oh man, I gotta spend time.
Well, let's get some listener feedback. If you have any questions you think should be in this podcast,
is there anything that
send it in for Aaron.
Hear? There was times where I'm open with a bit, and then I'm like, well, I mean, I don't want to it's supposed to be a warm, inviting thing. I mean, yeah, we're all comics, but I don't want people to be confused. Wait, what are we're doing bits?
Well, it's tough opening with a bit too, because then is it going to be burned? And for me, are my students going to find it?
Well, I mean, a bit as in
you should maybe do a riff bowl.
Sure. Or I guess the bit was ask you a question that you're like, what? Well, okay, last time we talked, you said, just make up some kind of thing and be like, okay, are they going to improv? Are they going to yes and? Are they going to shut it down? What is going to happen?
Okay, yeah, improv, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if I just prepared the guest, that could work. Yeah.
Do you listen to a lot of podcasts?
I used to listen to more podcasts, but I used to listen to more comedy podcasts, but now I've kind of fallen off. Yeah, and also I don't watch comedy specials. I don't know. I watch a lot of live comedy. Open mics and shows that I'm on. So it's though I think definitely need to study people that really they got specials, to if you could just remind yourself every once in a while, this is what you're shooting for.
Is that what you're shooting for? Is this special?
I don't know. I mean, it would be, who knows, right? I would love to be discovered and do a TV show that, not that I think it would have to be a really good thing though. I don't know, because I feel like sitcoms are just kind of the same over and over.
Yeah, I think if you have your brand of comedy and you're on a sitcom, it would get diluted pretty quick. Have you talked to Nyla Durrani? She's the booker for America's Got Talent, and she offered kind of comedy coaching for comedians, where it's you book her for a 2-hour spot, and half an hour of it she'll look through your material and your socials and then she'll tell you what you think, and she asks you what your goals are, and she tells you what you need to get there. So she told me to clean up my social media, take out the posters, put those in a archive something or other, highlights, and try to get 10,000 followers, because that apparently is that's a big determiner in how you get booked. But then if I wanted to do cruises, then I would need like an hour of clean, an hour of dirty. Or if I want to do colleges, then it has completely clean. And yeah, so there's all these things.
Wow.
So if you have, so that, I think that was time and money well spent.
Yeah, okay. So on Instagram, post the flyers.
So we post the flyers. We post the flyers when we're promoting, right? Hey, come to the show. But then afterwards, I don't know how to do this yet. I need to ask a 7th grader. But I need to take it off of my grid and put it into a highlight. You know, this little highlight where you store them.
Oh, right. You do that with stories.
Well, yeah. But anyways.
Or maybe it should be a story instead of
you could
a post.
do that too, but just that when your show is over, take that post off of your grid, because you don't need to, but then keep the posts of the stage shots, or here we are comedians, doing our thing. Like I might post I was on the podcast, and I'll keep that on my grid because it's like, here I am doing comedian life.
Right.
But the show I was in last night, I'll take the poster down, but I'll keep up the stage shots. Yeah, that was surprising to me.
It's a lot of work. That's good. That's good advice. I did kind of notice, like, oh my God, now all my posts are like the poster.
What she said is that the public kind of wants to live vicariously through you. Well, that's what she said for me. Right. So when they look at my feed, they should see, here's this 56-year-old woman living her life, living the comedian life, even though she's a school teacher, also grading papers, but so.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely need.
Do you do the
AI assistant
maybe
now?
Do you do the mic drop workshops, the free ones? They're kind of free.
I want to, but it's like I usually have to work.
Like you work on Sundays, huh?
Yeah, I work Wednesday through Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe in the future, I don't know. Work schedules sometimes change. Every so often something happens.
Right.
Or you have to change your life. So who knows? Or change your schedule.
I was on a game show last year, and I would like to do that again. Have you been on a game show?
No.
It's an experience.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I mean, I've done extra work. Being on set is great. It's super fun. I would love to do more extra work, or just, take an acting class, do acting, take improv.
Take improv. You totally take improv.
Yeah, I definitely need to, just carve out a day.
Check your schedule.
Figure out, okay, this is the improv place I want to go. What's their upcoming schedule, and change my schedule.
Well, there's really, I think, only 2 places. No, that's not true. I was going to say NCT and FCI, but now there's Mockingbird and Cornerstone too. So they each have a slightly different flavor.
Right, and they probably have different days they're doing it, right?
For sure.
What days?
Well, so you have to look for level 1. So I don't know offhand.
Okay. Yeah, I have to. Okay, I will do it. It's already September. Oh, shoot.
It is already September.
So the probably class is starting.
They start basically every 8 weeks. So I think we're in week 2. Yeah. Well, at FCI, I'm taking a hip hop, an improv hip hop class. So we are in week 2 for that.
And what day of the week is that?
That is Sundays, because Sundays work for me.
Okay. Cool. And that's during the day?
Hip hop improv is Sundays 10 to 12.
10 p.m. to 12?
No, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. to 12. Right, during the day.
But then there's also, I think they have some Thursday night classes, but I don't know. You would want level 1, or you know what? Try the intro. There's a free intro class.
There we go.
Find that one.
Yeah, I did take an intro class once at Comedy Palace.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that's, yeah. This would be different though, I think.
Sure. Probably better.
I don't like to say anything bad about other comedians or teachers, but I really respect the teachers at FCI.
Sure. Cool. All right. So thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah. So this has been an episode of
Comedy or Worse.
Oh, yeah. All right. Say goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.